Can you hear me now? Yes, well, there is sound. There? Not really? It's not that you can't hear me if I speak loud enough, but we need the sound to, I guess we're there yet. So yes, my name is Jan. I am a consultant at Pragma, where I've been for a little over 2 years. I have been using Git for, I don't know, 5-6 years something like that, as a developer. And I do quite a bit of Git training these days as well as consultant work with our companies. I have given 8 years of my life to this university, so I know my way around here. But even though I don't really feel that old, I remember when I was studying here, this whole building was just full of books and gray shelves, and it's slightly different now, just a tiny bit. So, see, that's what happens when time passes. And with that, I think I'll...
How rare of you not to talk about your cats. Oh, well. I'm Cherry. I also work for Pragma a little under 2 years now. And I'm a software developer there, kind of backline support for our consultants. But we work in software development, so it was very nice of us, or very surprising to us to hear, oh, you'll go to DTU and you'll give a Git training to librarians. And the first thought that went through my head was, cool, because I want to see what you guys do with it. And I'm really looking forward to hearing your ideas on how you're going to be using this after the training, or during, whenever you want to. So we usually train software developers when it comes to this, but we'll tune it down just a bit to see if you pick up, right? And if you catch on, we'll shift into gear and we'll go a bit faster, and if you can keep up, we'll go a bit faster and faster and faster. We'll see how well you do, right? And if you're confused about the picture, it's actually from the movie trilogy, The Librarian. If you haven't seen it, I'm not sure if I should recommend it, but I will. I like the movies more than I should. All right, so before we get started, just so you know what we'll be seeing today is we'll give you a quick introduction to GitHub, the website itself, right? And then we'll see a workflow that you can use to do work in Git and in GitHub. It's the one that's recommended by GitHub themselves as well. And then we'll take it locally. Like, we'll stop using the website, and we'll start working a little bit locally. And after that, we'll move to GitHub Pages, which is websites that you can use or you can make with Git and GitHub very easily. Don't need a lot of work for that. So, who here has not or does not have a GitHub account? Good boys and girls. All right. So, quick intro. What is Git? For all the people that don't know, Git is a version control system. It's a technology used to version files and keep track of them and keep track of the changes. So it allows you to easily compare and roll back to different versions of your files. GitHub is a collaboration tool, a whole platform built around Git. It's not a technology in its own. It's more like a community. It's a platform built by the GitHub company. And a repository inside Git or GitHub is the central piece around which you will collaborate. It is a single project. A repo is actually just a file store, but there's so much more to it when you move to GitHub, right? So let's take a look at a repository. So a blatant plug here is I'm going to use our company website repository. So this is the repository that... Where'd it go? Is it because I'm full screening? Maybe. It's hard to see your cursor with these huge monitors. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. That's a bit small, isn't it? Let's make that a bit bigger. All right. So if you haven't seen a GitHub repository before yet, this is one. So let's take a quick look around. Here you see the big sections at the top, right? And this is the name of the repository, pragma.com, hosted by the user or the organization Pragma, which is our company. Code is the first big section, which is actually where you see everything that is in the repository. Directories, files, you can click down here, you can go explore if you want. Another thing you notice is that way at the bottom, you see some little documentation here. And that is actually the README file. You can see it here, readme.md. Readme.md is a markdown file. If you haven't seen markdown yet, we'll go into that a bit later. But that is just a little file that's plopped here in the root somewhere. Can't see it from here. But in the root of the repository, and anything you put there gets rendered at the bottom of the page automatically. So if you want to put some quick introduction to your repo, to your project, this is what we're doing, this is what this is for, you can plop that in there. All right. Then at the top, up next is issues. Issues are the blood that pumps around GitHub when it comes to collaboration. Everything revolves around issues. You will work in issues. You will use issues to plan and track your work, to talk to other people, to discuss changes, to discuss things you want to do with the project, where you want to take it. There's a lot that comes to issues, and we'll come back to these quite a bit. Right? So you can assign them to people, you can assign labels, discuss. If you open up one of these, you'll see a lot of discussion going on. Maybe a bit heated discussion when it comes to Pragma, so I'm not sure if I should show that on television. And then up next is the pull requests. And pull requests are a means to propose, discuss, and pull in changes into your project. You can make an issue. You can start, okay, guys, I think we really want to do this. And then you make some changes, and you make a pull request, and it's like, here's what I want to do. Do you get the gist of it? And then they're like, yeah, but maybe you want to do it like this. And then you collaborate, and you work on your pull request. And then when everybody is happy, then you just pull it in, and then you update your project with the changes. So pull requests are a very powerful tool. We'll go back to these. We'll go back to all of this. This is just a quick intro, right? Then you have projects. Projects is something pretty recent. It's been added, which is also why we only have one strange project. But it is a way to organize your issues and plan your work better. It gives you a better oversight. You can build roadmaps. You can build Kanban boards of issues you want to deal with. We'll go over Kanban at one point as well. A lot to cover today. But projects are just a way to organize your work instead of one giant pile of issues, right? So, and then you have the wiki. The wiki is just it's a built-in wiki around your GitHub project. If you want to put some documentation for your project online together with your repo, this is where you do it, right? Very handy. And then pulse and graphs, you'll like these because this is data. This is just handy little data about your repo. So you can see how many issues have been pumping through it, how fast they've been closed, what people have been talking about. The graphs themselves are who is contributing, when are the contributions happening, who is changing what. Oh, look, there's me. I've added quite a bit of lines, but not as much as these two here. They're the real chiefs of the website. And all kinds of different metrics that you can be interested in when it comes to your project alone. So just the amount of changes that's been going on. And then settings. Settings is where you can manage your project. You usually can't, if you're looking at the pragma.com right now, you can't see it because you need to be an owner of an admin of the website or the project when it comes to that. We'll dabble a bit in the settings, but most of them we'll just stay ignorant of until later. All right. Any questions so far? Anything you want to see? Good. All right. Let's move on. Ooh. Let's get this out of the way, shall we? All right. It's time to team up. You're already sitting at tables, but you're not paired up. So let's pair up with like 3 or 4 people, make a group, assign a captain, and pick a name, okay? And it better be a cool name. All right. Does everyone have a team? Raise your hand if you don't have a team. There you go. All right, okay. Captains, raise your hand. All right, I'm going to go over. You're captain, okay. I'm going to go over you one by one, and you're going to announce your team name, okay? You. Oh, yeah. Throw the mic. Very handy.
We're called the Girl Coders.
Very nice. No questions asked. You can do what you want.
We're EAT.
Eat. Good. We'll do that for lunch.
We're still nameless,
Damn.
so
Really nice.
we can't really come up with a good one yet.
That's fine. That's fine.
How about anonymous?
We can all pretend it's a really good name.
We'll just be anonymous.
Okay, fantastic.
We're nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Okay, we've got anonymous and nobody.
And we're the cool.
The
we're
what?
giddy.
We're the students.
The students. Oh, nice. Very apt.
We're called J-Lo.
J-Lo?
Yeah.
You can do whatever. All right.
We're called Power Girls.
Power Girls.
We're team name.
Team name.
Fossil.
Forsile?
Fossil.
Foresight.
Fossil.
Okay.
No, fossil. Fossil.
Oh.
Fossil.
All right. Okay. Any captains that haven't announced their team name? A couple.
We're the dynamic duo, I guess,
The
because
dynamic
we're only
duo.
two.
Yeah. All right.
We're the lib for Git. Yeah.
It's always hard to come up with names when you're put on the spot like that, right?
Nobody put Swayze in a coffin.
We're the A team.
The A team. All right. Was that everyone? Over there. Over there. You can throw it. No. Come on. The last one should throw it. There you go.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So I hope everyone is logged into GitHub, because we're going to go and refresh this page because my... Okay, so head over to github.com if you haven't already, and you want to navigate to... You want to navigate to pragma-training/DST for L. All right? That is a small repository, and on that repository you will find one issue. If none of my colleagues were keen on practical jokes yesterday. And on that one issue, just leave a comment, anything. Just don't make it mean. And then we'll add you as a collaborator to that repository. Anyone can create issues and comment on issues on any public repository, but only collaborators can make changes to the actual repository. And we want you to do some stuff today, right? This isn't just a show and tell, right? You'll be doing stuff today. Everyone should make a comment on it. Damn it. Ooh. There you go. Minor technical difficulties. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Very nice. Let's see if I can get this working. It really is awkward navigating. There we go. Oh, let's go to GitHub, pragma-training, and then DST4L. I hope this is the right one. I was hoping my autocorrect would save me, but apparently not. Pragma Dash training, DST. All right, can someone in the audience tell me how many times do I have to go to the bottom? 1? Is this it? Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's look at the issues. Oi, 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 oi. People making issues. Boys, boys, boys. All right, okay. So this is the one you should be commenting on. Has anybody not left a comment? Everybody with us? If you no, just write anything.
So open the issue number 1, which is the one that's called Welcome DSTL or DST4L. Comment here, that giveaway, and leave a comment on this issue.
Yeah. So this one, Welcome DST4L. Comment here. Just leave any comment. And while we're waiting for people to do that, this is a good time to talk about notifications. Because some of you might have already gotten a couple of mails now. So there's two levels at which you can be notified of things. That is on the issue thread level and on the repository level. Now, the moment you join an issue, the moment you start commenting on an issue, you automatically get subscribed to that issue. So whenever anyone talks or says anything on that issue, you'll get a wonderful notification, usually an email from GitHub. So the person that commented the first time has a full inbox now. So you might want to take a look down here. Whoop. And on the right side of the issue thread, you have a notifications section. And there you can click unsubscribe if you don't want to get a million mails. Usually issues go a little slower than this, right? So you don't get flooded. But now that we have 40 people just signing up on it and leaving comments, you know, everyone's getting blasted by emails. So you might want to unsubscribe from this thread. But even if you unsubscribe, there's a way for people to ping you anyway. So they can just do @ and then your GitHub handle, and then you'll just get a ping regardless of whether you're subscribed or not. And that can be changed up here as well. Up there in the top is the repository level of subscriptions, right? So here you can either watch a repository and you will be notified whenever someone leaves a message on any of the issues in that repository. You can be not watching, which is you will only get pinged if you are participating in a particular issue or when someone @ you, right? And then you can just ignore, and you know, they can scream all they want and you'll never get a message. All right? So has everyone reasonably, you know, is everyone happy with the subscription level now? No flood of emails? Has everyone commented?
Not quite, I think.
Not quite? How many comments do we have?
We're about 40 people, right?
And how many comments do we have?
36.
Oh, well. So the people that didn't comment, we'll have to add you later, all right? But we'll just do some magic now, and you all get added as collaborators to the repository. And then we'll get some work done, right? So you might want to hover over to the code section of the repository. And here you'll see we have our README with just a little introduction to the repository, to the project. And we'll also have a directory here with, it's called Team Pragma, and it has 2 wonderful people who left a little bio in there, right? And this is what we're going to do the same. We're going to build a repository with directories for all the teams we have, and inside the team directories, you'll leave a little file. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, right? Do you like cats? Don't you like cats? More of a dog person? That's okay, right? It's okay to be wrong. But Are they added as collaborators? Okay, so you should be collaborators now, everyone that commented on the thread. So let's add a file to GitHub, to the project, all right? And there should be a handy little button up here, right next to the big green one, which is Create New File. So if you click on that, you'll head over to the Create New File area. And what you can type here is you can type whatever you want for the file name. If you put a slash inside the file name, you'll create a directory, right? So I'm not sure if I mistyped that or not. Yes, I wrote Temia, right? Which is, it's Belgian for team, right? Just believe me. Oh, you can backspace. Yeah, that's fine, right? And then let's do it the right way. So you can write your team name, right? And you might want to agree on the casing and what you're going to do with it, because otherwise you'll have team anonymous with a capital A and then team anonymous with a lowercase a. Yes. Throw the good man the box, please.
Hello? Should we all do it or only the captains?
Everyone should add the file.
Okay.
So, and then you can add your name. So for me, that's Terry. And you might want to end that file name with .md, which signifies that it's a markdown file. And I'm not sure if people have been given, you should have been given the markdown cheat sheet. If you want to run ahead and already use some fancy little markdown, you can use a hashtag and then a space for a header, right? So you can talk us about yourself. You can tell us about yourself in bold letters. And if you want to put some italics in there, you can go ahead and do that. Hello, I'm Cherry, and you can always preview it. That's some markdown files right there. And then when you're ready, you can always write a little message for because you are committing a file, but we'll get into commits later. So you want to just leave a message like, hey, I'm plopping this file here, right? I'm adding my bio. And then everyone can see what you've done with your change. All right. So who's going to be the first team, actually? Oh, team name. Team name's pretty quick. Peculiar name, though. If you're having troubles or you have questions, just raise your hand and we'll pop by and help you out. Okay. Yes. Right now you are in DST4L, and now you want to put a slash. There you go. Okay. Yes, exactly. So just... Anyone else having trouble? All right. Anyone else? All right, let's have a look-see. Ho, ho, ho. You can already see some tryouts, people not making a directory. It's okay, it's okay to mess up. Just a bit. All right, anyone else need a little hand? Or has everyone already added their wonderful bios? I wonder how many cat people we have in the audience. Hello, hello, hello. Is that better? Yes. Okay, so that was our first commit. Let's go have a look what happened behind the scenes. Okay?
Wait.
Do you need some help?
Yeah, we're in the wrong directory.
That's perfect. Jan, go. This time he's my lackey. All right, and you need some help as well. I'll pop over there as well.
Yeah, we're in team and then anonymous.
All right. Is everybody back to their seats? Everybody had a good break? Had some coffee? Had some OJ? All right. You should be looking at something like this, right? Your team captains made a repo for the team. Everybody's looking at their team repo. Team members for the members to find the repo is the easiest way is to just throw them the link. It's just accessible, but just by browsing to it. The link is github.com/ and then the name of the GitHub's name of the person who made it. For me, this is pragma-thi, because that's my GitHub account name. And then / the name of the repository, which is team-pragma for us, right?
You can actually just create an issue and mention them, then they will get a notification.
That's also a way to do it. So members are now looking at this wonderful repository and they want to work on it, but they really can't right now because they're not collaborators. So what the team members are going to do now is they're going to annoy their team leaders by creating an issue. And let me just put up the slides. The members are going to go ahead to the repo and open up an issue because anyone can make an issue on any public repository. And you're going to make an issue, hey, team captain, please add me as a collaborator so I can do some work. And then the captain is going to add them as a collaborator and resolve their issue. All right? So go ahead and create an issue if you're a member and annoy your captain and tell him to add you. And then we'll help the captains actually do that. All right? So, Jan, do you want to create an issue so I can add you? Not fall over. Okay. So my good colleague Jan is going to create an issue on pragma-thi/team pragma. He's going to create an issue there, and it says, "Hey, I want to join this repo," right? So we're going to be waiting for him, and then I'm going to show you how to add people as collaborators. If you want to dash ahead, you can do it in the settings, but I'll go help out there.
I was just going to say we skipped that stage because I went into settings and invited her as a collaborator by email. She didn't find one personally.
Well, then you can just close the issue, because you've already done it. Congratulations.
Yep, so we can
Because you are a collaborator, not an owner or an administrator. Oh, you need a promotion for that, but for that you need to do some work, right? You don't get promoted for free. All right, team captains, have you been annoyed by issues yet? Good, good, good. Let's see if Yen pulled through as well. All right, so I have an issue from my colleague as well that says, I want to help. All right? And please add me. Okay, so let's go do that. Team captains, you made the repository. So you are a repository owner. And an owner or an administrator can go to settings and actually add people. So you go to settings, top right. Then on the left you have your little menu, and you can go to collaborators and click that. And then GitHub really wants you to confirm your password. So and here you can add collaborators. So you can just find them by name if they filled in the name for their GitHub account. Otherwise, you'll have to enter their GitHub account name. Luckily, I know both for Yen, so, but I can't spell. There you go. So I'm going to add Yen as a collaborator. And now he's a collaborator. And now he can make changes to the repository. So, oh yeah, and I should also...
Actually not.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're invited.
I'm invited to join.
Yes, you're invited to join. And then you can accept that, and then you are a collaborator. How do they accept? They'll get a mail, or they can just go to the repo, and then they'll be reminded of it, I'm pretty sure. And then I'll go to the issue, and I'll tell them, you got a mail, and I'll close the issue, right? I sent you an invite. And then close and comment, right? Just raise your hand if you need some help adding your team members. All right, is everyone collaborated to their team's repository? I'll take that as a yes. So let's move on. All right, so let's talk about the GitHub flow for a while. You can work with Git and GitHub however you want to, right? But there is a workflow that is proposed by GitHub, which is really nice to work with, especially if you want to do your changes and tasks and have them revolve around GitHub issues, because that's a wonderful place to document and your discussions and just go wild, right? So let's take a look at the GitHub flow. All right, so let's just hope this opens up. All right. So the GitHub flow. This is GitHub's website for the GitHub flow. So everything starts with you want to propose a change, right? So you want to do something in your project. So you go ahead and you make an issue like, guys, we really need something in our project. Usually I come up with something witty, but it's a bit too early for me for that. So, and after you make an issue and people are like, yeah, that's a good idea, you should do that. Then you branch off to start working. And what is branching? Well, we all made changes. We made bios on that one repository, remember? And then you saw a long commit line. But what happens when you branch off is you have your repository, and you move like in parallel with it. You just say, okay, let me just work over here for a minute, and I'll just do my own thing. And you go and make some changes, and people can keep working on the master branch, right? But your work won't interfere with theirs, and theirs won't interfere with yours. You're like in separate bubbles, right? So you can work in peace and quiet. So that's what a branch is. And after you branch off, you go to work, right? You start, jeez. Oh yeah, you got it. After you branch off and you're in your little isolated branch, your little bubble, you go work, right? You're like, tick, 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 tick. You do whatever you want. You add data, you write some scripts, you do whatever you want. And then when you're done with working, you say like, I think this is, this fleshes out my idea. This is something that I can show to people, and it's like, this is what I mean, this is what we need, right? And then, oh damn, that's a real good support right there. And then you open up a pull request, right? A pull request is actually, it's in the name, it's a request to pull in these changes. But you don't do that right away, because you open it up and you say, here guys, look what I did. This is what we need, or at least that's what I think, right? And I made these changes, and you talk a bit about it, you leave some comments on the pull request. And then other people can go in and look at your changes and say like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea, but what if you did it like that? Wouldn't that be cool? And you're like, oh yeah, wow. And then you just collaborate and you work together and you make more changes, and through the discussion, you find better ways of doing it. And then at the end, when you're all very happy with the way it's done, GitHub will automatically take the master branch and your pull request and see if there's no collisions in file changes. We'll not talk about merge conflicts just yet, because that's for after lunch, right? You don't want to do that in the morning. But after, and GitHub will say, yes, we can merge these. Perfect, fine, right? And then it will just pull in your changes, and then your changes will now be applied to the master branch. So all the stuff you did in your little bubble just goes into the master, and then everything is resolved. And everyone is happy because we've got cool new stuff in the project, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little exercise where we're going to use the GitHub flow to get some stuff into our team repositories, right? So, so everyone, including captains, go propose a change on your repo. Make an issue like, oh, you know what we really need? We need an animal in our repository, right? So pick any animal that you can think of. Be as creative as you want to. Like you can pick a sheep if you're not very creative. Or you can pick something that's like extinct for a couple of thousands of years. And then create an issue in your repository that says, oh, we should really add this one to our repo, right? And then assign yourself to that issue. And you can assign yourself in the right hand bar. There's a nice little assign yourself button. And after you've created that issue, we'll see how you branch off, right? You have a couple of seconds to do this, right? You've made an issue before, so.
And please don't hesitate to ask questions.
Yes.
Raise your hand if you need help or if you want to ask a question.
Yes, my trusty lackey Yen is here to help you out if you need anything. All right, so I'm actually going to make a new issue myself, right? Because I'm going to be very uncreative and right. Ah, damn, my thing froze again. Let's see. Oh. And there's a couple of cool, if you haven't already made your issue, there's a couple of cool things you can do, right? So I'm just gonna show that off here. Oh. Sheep are really cool. So there's a couple of tricks you can do in Markdown, right? And I'm gonna make a little checklist here. But this is a bit, let me just move this over just a second, right? You can all look at my cow while I hack this. All right, some pointers if you're making an issue and you want to make it look a bit fancy, right? There's actually a handy little toolbar, if I can find my cursor. There's actually a handy little toolbar here that has some pre-made Markdown things that you can use. So you can add a little task list, and I'm just going to put that here. If you click that, then it will pre-generate something that allows you to add some stuff. And you can always look at the preview right next to the right here. There's a preview. And then you can see what it looks like. So I added a nice little task list for my issue. And then once that's done, I can actually go in here and then just click these. Right, very neat. Good for tracking progress. Anyway, that's just some Markdown in there. You've got a little cheat sheet if you be as crazy as you want to be. So has everyone made their little issue? Yes. All right. It's time to branch off, right? So we're gonna. Oh, by the way, has anyone has any team member picked the same animal as another team member? Because then it's gonna. No, good. Otherwise, it was gonna get really interesting. So we're gonna create a branch, right, to start working on. And the way you do that is you can just go to the code view, and here. This is the branch you're currently on. We're currently on master. Master is the name of is the default name of the first branch, right? If you create a new repository, the master branch is the branch that is created. So let's create a new one. You can find other branches by typing in here, but you can also create a new one. So I'm going to create one that's called my sheep, right? Because I'm going to be adding a sheep. And boom. That quick. So I'm on my sheep branch now, as you can see here, and it's at the same point. Yes. Oh, throw here. You ready? That might be risky. There you go.
Should we all do that, or just the captains?
Everyone should branch off. Everyone made an issue for an animal. Everyone's going to be contributing an animal to the repository. Okay. And you might want to keep an eye on this branch, because if you refresh the page sometimes, or if you click on the repository to go back to repository home, you might actually switch back to master. So when we're going to make some changes soon, make sure you're on your branch. Otherwise, your colleagues are going to get annoyed. All right? So I'm actually going to go back to my issue now, because Wouldn't it be nice to have a T-Rex? Yeah, now you're joining in. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, we should have a T-Rex. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say, I created a branch, right? So issues are a nice way of tracking your progress. But let's go back to the repository. Make sure you are on your branch, right? So I'm on my sheep. And let's get some work done, right? We proposed a change, we branched off, and now let's do some work. So what you're going to do is add an animal to your repository, right? So I'm gonna add a new file with this wonderfully, totally created by me ASCII art of a little sheep, right? Okay, it's not really created by me, but I did edit it a bit, right? Got to do some polishing up. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new file in my on my branch. And we all know how to create files, do we? So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just leave it there for a while. I'll let you guys add it. If you want, you can put it in a subdirectory. Discuss this with your team, right? You can go on the issue and say, oh, you should always add your animals in like a zoo directory because we're building a zoo repo or whatever. Talk to your colleagues, right? You can make it a markdown file, but sometimes if you add little ASCII arts like that in Markdown, Markdown tries to interpret it somehow and it gets a bit funky. You can do it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to make it in a text file just because in case I ever render it, it's going to look a bit weird.
Either that or you can look in your little Markdown cheat sheet and find out how
yes.
to make blocks of pre-formatted code in Markdown.
Yes,
Or
indeed.
I could give you the answer, which is to put 3 backticks in a line, in a separate line before and after the block, and then it will actually show if you go to the issues.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do that on mine. So I'm gonna add my sheep. All right, I'm gonna go add in a zoo subdirectory. I'm just gonna add a sheep.md, right? And if I add my sheep here, it might look okay, right? Markdown might, yeah, Markdown's pretty nice. So I actually made sure there was no conflicts with Markdown. But if you want to do it in Markdown, there's a nice way of. Oh boy. So here we go. I don't want to ruin my sheep. So if you do 3 backticks, that creates a block of pre-formatted code or pre-formatted text. So anything within a block of 3 backticks is actually going to look slightly different. Because if there's anything in there, okay, if there's anything in there that would otherwise conflict with Markdown, it doesn't touch it. And it's also always monospace characters, which are very handy for ASCII art. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and add my sheep, right? So add sheep to the zoo, right? I added this wonderful new animal to our zoo. Come check it out, right? You can add a headline for your commit, but there's also a bigger block if you want to drop some more information. And this is great to say, like, let's say you made a change and you say, oh, I changed this file in the header. Because people can then see, oh, yeah, okay, so this, if he made a change or they're looking for files and it's like, okay, what changed here? In the header, tell exactly, very briefly, what you did. And then in the description here, because that's what people can find out as well, you want to put why you did it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, we really needed more mammals, so me and Jan decided we should add a sheep, a very popular mammal, right? So there ahead. And make sure that you are committing on your branch, right? It's fine. Has everyone added their little animal to their branch, or are they still Googling for ASCII art? if you're having any trouble, just raise your hand and we'll be right there, right?
So this exercise shows one of the advantages of using branches in that it gives each person, in this case, their own little parallel universe where they can change some content without disturbing the others. So if I make some changes on a branch called sheep, then the people looking at the repository and working on the master branch will not see my sheep while I'm working on it. So, you know, it might take me some tries to get it right. And before that, I might not want to, you know, have it publicly available. Well, it's publicly available in the repository, but it is not part of the master version that's the one we're showing, which becomes increasingly important if the master branch is a live published website, for example. Then I might actually want to work on some stuff over a couple of hours before I decide to add it to the shared website. But we'll come back to that in a later exercise when we actually try to build a website. Questions?
If everything went well, then if you go to your repo, you should see absolutely nothing. But then when you pop over to your branch, you should see your new animal you added, right? So there's my zoo with my wonderful sheep in it. So now that we've done some work, right, we're gonna open up a pull request to show our colleagues the work we've done, right? And then they can comment on it and they can say, oh, that's a really wonderful sheep, except, you know, sheep have 4 legs, not 2, so you might want to add 2 more legs, right? And it's like, oh yeah, right, and then you can go back and collaborate or work on it. So that's what we're going to do now. There's multiple ways to create a pull request. If the branch you made is pretty new, it will show up here at the top, my sheep compare and pull requests. But the way to always find it is to head over to branches in the repo, find your branch, which is my sheep right here, and click new pull request. So that's what we're going to do now. And this is the screen where you will try to describe your change and your pull request as good as you can, as well as you can, so that people who read it instantly know what you're trying to do, and they're like, okay, so you want to do this, and you've already changed these files. That's really good of you, and here's my feedback on it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and write a little more than just add sheep to the zoo, right? So let's do proper English, right? And let's say add a sheep to the zoo. And then go ahead and I added this wonderful new animal. Come check it out. Any comments on my wonderful sheep? Question mark? And oh, you can let's do some stuff with the pull request, by the way. There's labels, so you can label issues or pull requests in a GitHub repository. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this an enhancement, because adding a sheep to a zoo is always an enhancement, right? There's also milestones. Milestones is something that happens in projects. You can order your issues in milestones and say, okay, we want all these issues done by some arbitrary date, because all deadlines are arbitrary dates. Assignees, you can assign people to it. I'm gonna even assign Yen to this, so he can have a look at my sheep and comment on it. Reviewers, same thing, right? So I'm gonna create my pull request. Oh, chat, I even forgot something. So I'm gonna go ahead and also add another comment to it. FYI, this is a change relevant to issue, and then you can do a hashtag or a # if you're old school, and reference your issue. Add sheep to the zoo, or that's actually the pull request. So we should add a sheep to the zoo. So here I'm referencing the issue that I made way before. Remember where I proposed the change for sheep? So in issues, you can reference to other issues. You can say, like, okay, yeah, we're doing this, but John over there, he's working on that issue, and it's also pretty relevant. You should go take a look there as well. So So you can interconnect your issues and organize them really nicely. So if we even head over to issue number 3, because I haven't updated that in a while. Right? So let's see, we added a file with ASCII art, check. Right? Ooh. I committed the file, check. I opened a pull request, check. And we haven't discussed the changes yet anyway. But you can also see that I referenced this issue in a pull request. Right? So you can then go back to the pull request here. So, per happy chance, Jan has already made some comments on it. Do you have any comments on my sheep, Jan? On my sheep, yes. See if there's any changes you want to do. And you should also ask this to your colleagues. You open up a pull request to discuss your changes, to collaborate on the issue, right? So go ahead and look at other people's pull requests. Find something that's terribly wrong with their ASCII art because they messed up in copy-pasting it. And then comment on it, discuss it, and then we'll go back and make some more changes, right? So you want to go ahead, go to your colleague's pull request, add an emoji if you want. There's a little plus button if you want to add a smiley or a thumbs down if you're really mean. Or just say, like, this is a wonderful animal. I think we should go ahead and release it anyway. Like, it's perfect as it is. There's nothing to change. That's also perfectly fine, right? But go ahead and find your colleague's pull request and leave a comment. All right, how's it going? Is everybody commenting and posting nice emojis on their colleagues' animals? Everyone copy-pasted nice animals? All right, so now it's time to merge in your changes, right? Because everyone is happy with your animals. Like, that's a really nice and long giraffe. That's a very majestic rhino, okay? So everybody's happy. So let's merge in these changes and update the master on our project, right? And this is very, very difficult. So let's just click merge pull request, right? So this is the commit, the change that will go to master. This is merge in all these changes that I made and put them on master, right? And a nice thing to do here is in the comments of your pull request is reference your issue that you were originally trying to solve. And if you type it in a certain way, like this fixes issue number 3, this resolves issue number 3, this closes issue number 3, it will go and automatically close that issue once you commit this, right? So I want to do that. So I'm going to say, this fixes issue, and then which one was it? It was, we should add a sheet to the repository, right? This fixes issue number 3. And I'm going to commit that. And bam, pull request successfully merged and closed. And if we go ahead and look to the issue, or look at the issue, I have a link there, but I can't actually see anything because I'm like, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the old school way and going via issues, because that I can actually see. All right, so, and then we'll see, we should add a sheep to the repository. Oh, did I mistype it? Add a sheep to the zoo. Merge. Did I have a typo in it? Possibly. Anyway, if you messed up, you can always just close the issue. I'm going to go have a look-see, because that is, my typing game is not on point today. Pull requests. And closed pull requests. Add a sheep to the zoo, closed. I'm going to go see my comment here. Oh, you can actually, I'll just go check my commit. Because the merging of a pull request is a commit of itself. Right? So we're going to go ahead to the code. Commit. Merge pull request number 4 from Pragma sheep. Okay, so. This fixes. I gotta go check that. Ah, peculiar. Should work, yeah. Oh well. It wouldn't be a demo if it worked, right? But now if I go to Team Pragma and I look at master, we can see that my sheep is now on master.